Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video, we'll be going through the SuperCoach trade target for round 9, like we did with the fantasy trade targets, going through the players that have the lowest break even, especially those on the bubble, as we finally have an Erasmus playing, but I don't know about his job security even a day after he's been named. Obviously, we have Husway and guys like that. Then we will go through the most traded ins, the most traded outs of the top 10%, may even look at the top 5% because that's nearing on the area that I'm sort of looking at as, or my team is sort of positioned to be. But anyway, before we jump into this video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and let's jump into this video. So, as you can see here, we have the lowest break-even, guys. Henry Husway, minus 83 break-even. This is the obvious one. I think this might even have my trades sort of loaded up on this. So let me just quickly jump out of this and undo my changes so that I can actually grab them for you. There we go. That is much better. So there we go. And let me just put this on to break-evens for you guys. So Henry Husway, minus 83 break-even is the obvious trade in this week. I'll make it just a tiny bit bigger for you guys. Yep, there you go. And so he will be the obvious trade-in. For people that have a boost, I think you could probably boost in this scenario to Erasmus, as it looks like he should get a run of 2 or so games. But outside of 2 games, I can't sort of confirm or anything. And obviously he could be sub, which could make you just not boost at all. But yeah, Erasmus is definitely a guy that I'd be looking at as, yeah, he could easily jump in the next couple of weeks up sort of 70, 80k. Let's just look at this here. If we just go, he's going to score a flat 50 for 2 weeks time. He goes up 80k in a flat 50 scenario. And he could easily, I say easily, he could easily score a 70 and suddenly go up 51, 51, and then potentially get another game and go 34k. So if he just goes 70, 70, 70, he suddenly made 140k in 3 weeks, which is absolutely huge. And this is what the big worry about him playing, not playing, sub, etc. is just this job security, because he could easily do that. As we've seen here, he's gone in the games that he's played, he's gone 41 and 80. I don't know about the sort of tog that he had in those games, but yeah, he's definitely a guy that could could play, and yeah, he could do a lot of damage to non-owners. So I think he's going to be one that might be traded in quite a lot by teams who already went earlier on Husway and have a way in which they can just wait a week for the likes of a Boxall. They don't have to go early on Boxall as well, so they can go and get Erasmus and then get Boxall and then wait another, etc., etc. So that's that one. Husway, the obvious one to trade in for those that don't have him, me included. He will be the obvious trade in for me. And then, yeah, you got Will Lorenz. We wait another week. He's on the bubble next week. We don't want to go early on too many guys. Him and Boxall, basically you choose the best one next week, and that's how it will go. Hugh Boxall went 75, Lorenz 83. So if that happens again, you might be even inclined to choose Lorenz over Boxall, but we'll see how that goes. Tunstall, we haven't seen in a while. Cochran, not back yet. Aiden Johnson, not back yet. Harry Boyd, not back yet. Riley Hardiman was an interesting one, I think, until we got other sort of rookies playing. So he's a guy that I was really high on in the start of the year, and he did go 76 in the most recent game, so he's going to make cash the next couple of weeks as well, and he could get his way up to sort of that 280, 290 range quite easily. But I just don't know if I can spend the extra 80k. 80k is the difference between basically effectively having a 520k guy or a 600k guy, or if you're going really cheap, a 520k guy compared to a 440k guy. So that's the reason why, like, I'm staying away from Hardiman and other guys, because it's just way too hard to get him alongside another guy in, I feel like, at the moment, unless you have really beefed up guys that you can just keep on trading, so that Hardiman is suddenly in 3 or 4 weeks is a trade out at like 300k. Whereas for me, I just need the cash in hand at the moment to continue on as my guys. I don't really have the next obvious guy to trade out at the moment. So I need that. I would rather that cash on hand rather than that cash basically stored in Riley Hardiman for 3-4 weeks. Fonte is another guy that we can wait on as well. Went 77 in his opening game. Has a 160 break even. So yeah, you're just going to wait on him. Sam Wicks has been a surprisingly really, he's gained a lot of cash, but then again, he was so highly priced. Caden Cleary back to his best to 63. Would like to see him get a little bit more midfield run next week, but he's a guy that's going to make some even more cash and potentially make his way up to that 300k range. Clay Hall, don't know if he's going to necessarily come back this week, but hope he does, because I kind of need him to start gaining a little bit of cash, because him and the likes of Matt Carroll are nearing their cash generation stopping point. Davis, O'Keefe, Pink, Leak hasn't played it anytime soon. Zachary, Connor Stone, etc. We'll fix that Connor Stone captaincy in a second in the team release video. Ginnivan, Wagner, Edwards, Wiltshire, and Turner, etc. And that's pretty much it for the cash generators. Just looking at anyone else here. And there's still quite a few in the sort of 6 to 14 range that you wouldn't be trading in, but they're still going to be making cash, so you wouldn't be trading them out. So you got, in order, Huswaite, Erasmus, then I'd honestly almost argue Lorenz and then Boxall. But we'll see how Boxall goes in week 2, because that can obviously flip. But those would be the 4 rookie trade-ins that I do at the moment. So then we get the coach's choice, and we'll go to here. We'll go, and then we'll get the top 10% loaded up. And we will go around change here. Huswaite, the obvious one. Chad Warner, a lot of people trading him in after a 140. And I will use a little bit of fantasy terminology, but he's averaging 85 in fantasy and about 95 in SuperCoach, I want to say. And he did go 83, 140 split in 97 in SuperCoach. So he's actually averaging all right in SuperCoach, but he went 83, 140 split. That is an extreme split, and one of the best 24 disposal and 0 goal games that I've seen in a long time. And so I don't think he puts that up again. So I would be one staying clear of him. He's probably going to cop Durham, you would expect, and potentially Setterfield goes to Heaney, the more taller, sort of bigger guy, I would think. Even though I think they're about the same height, Warner and Heaney, because every Swans midfielder is like 185 centimeters. But having said that, I just don't know if Chad Warner can put up the numbers needed. He has done really well against Essendon in the past, and then comes up against a Carlton outfit that does pretty well. I just think you can probably, he's got a 26 break even. It's going to be hard to get him after this week, but I just think that he's a guy that, I just don't know if he's going to do fantastically well in the long run. So that's one that I would be honestly staying clear of. Even though this is probably going to come back to bite me. I just don't think, I think he puts up like a 100 or 95 performance, and there's other guys that could put up like 140, 150 plus performances. Erasmus, understand that. Boxall going early, I'm surprised. I would honestly almost go Erasmus over Boxall, just because you get Erasmus could get 2 games in, or a game better than Boxall before the cash generation. And so I think that in that way, in the space of 2-3 weeks, he could potentially gain a further like 50k on Boxall. Gawn, it's really hard to get Gawn at that sort of price, especially because he's projected to basically be 700k next week if he goes like a 100 or something. Let's just look at him. Oh, a clean 100 score for Gawn next week gets him to 716k. So yeah, definitely a guy that when he plays Sydney, he's basically destined to go down in price no matter what. But if we see him going 120s for the next couple of weeks, just look at that. That is crazy. That he gets his way up to 730k basically with 120s. So he's just in an absolute run of form and is now up to an average of 130. And yeah, he could easily against Hawthorn go like 155 or something like that. And suddenly you're just looking at a guy who he suddenly, if he has a good couple of weeks this week, could get up to 756k, like 750k, which is something that we're looking at guys that are like 2/3 the price of him currently. That's what we're looking at for trade-ins. So yeah, Zach Merritt, understand that 596k is a good trade-in, I feel like. And then he will cop Rowbottom or James. He will cop James Jordan, but I feel like he'll be able to burn James Jordan off for a 110. Isaac Rankin, a 520k guy that I think is just a better option than the likes of Chad Warner. Isaac gets it about 5, 6, 7 times more per game. And also is just a lot more efficient, I feel like. So that's why I'll be going for Isaac Rankin over Chad Warner. But I guess that Chad Warner is kind of an easy upgrade for guys that have sort of that 300k guy in like if you go Murphy Reed and also Sam Davidson to Warner and also the likes of a rookie like a Boxall, that's an easy upgrade there. Dawson, Neil, understand these trade-ins as well. Dawson is probably going to be my captain this week, I would think. Neil, Sinclair, Bailey Dale, Rowan Marshall. Marshall's numbers actually don't look good at all. His underlying metrics do not look good, so I wouldn't be trading in him. Ryan Marrick, I can kind of understand it, 434k. He's averaged, I think, about 100 in the last 5, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Let's just say 88, 84, 91, 87, 131. So he's not doing anything damaging for non-owners, but he's also not doing anything huge. He's averaging roughly about, what's that? Something like 400 points in the last, in the last 5 games, he's averaged just about 98 or something, I think. Let me actually just double check this for you guys. So he's gone 709 minus 228, divide that by 5, and he's averaged 96 in the last 5 games, which is pretty good. That's near enough top of the line, but not top of the line. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he goes, but when he is basically playing as a defender, he is averaging 676 divided by 7. He's averaging 96 basically as a defender in the long run, and he's had some peak games as well. So yeah, he's a guy that's definitely just made enough cash to be worthwhile. Tristan Cherry, it's going to be hard to watch him, and I hope he doesn't do well, because if he doesn't do well, then hopefully post-buy he could be a pickup or something like that. I have sort of teetered around with things around trading him, trading him in, etc., but I just can't do it with the sort of, I just don't know if I can do it with holding TDK this week. So I could trade him in. I just don't know if I will, per se. So yeah, that's the hard part about him. And I sort of want Rankin. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I could trade him in next week potentially or something like that, but we'll just see. As he is so highly owned, so potting him has been really tough some weeks. And then we will go to, just quickly to finish this off, the outs for this week. Matt Flynn, yeah, most people are trading him out. I think I will be as well. I just don't like his underlying numbers. For cash generation, I would say in the next 3 weeks, the numbers don't look good. Davidson, I haven't had for a little while. Pal Pepper, Bice, I can understand that as well. 375k. What's his break even? It is 71. So I still think that there's potential for him to hold ground there. Jackson Pryor is a guy that I will be going straight to Husweight for. That's the obvious one. And then basically all of these guys I can understand as, they are losing cash or just not showing premium status in the last couple of weeks. So we'll see how that develops there. But anyway, that is the video there going through the trade targets for round 9 of the AFL SuperCoach season. And I'll see you guys later for the fantasy and SuperCoach team reveals alongside my predictions for round 9. Bye guys.